Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news here on KALH, weather always comes first. The Carolinas into the Mid-Atlantic will see the potential for severe weather and flooding rainfall over the next few days. Severe thunderstorms look likely over the northern to central plains today and tomorrow. Storms along a stalling frontal boundary across the northeast will cool temperatures. The desert southwest will be heating up, with some areas hitting high temperatures in the range of 110 to 118 degrees, and that's going to prompt extreme heat warnings into tomorrow. Closer to home, northerly flow aloft will favor thunderstorms working into the lowlands in the evenings, especially in southwestern parts of the state. Some lowland storms could bring gusty winds and blowing dust as low-level moisture becomes limited. High temperatures are going to run 5 to 10 degrees above normal through the end of the week. Uptick in thunderstorm coverage possible Friday into early next week. We'll have another look at the weather following this news.
This is Range Control with roadblock information for Wednesday, July 9th. Roadblocks are subject to change without notice. Highway 70, Highway 380, Highway 54, Owen Road, Nike Avenue, and War Highway are scheduled to remain open all day.
Ruidoso was hit by a flash flood yesterday. A home was washed away, and swift-moving creeks were full of debris. Lincoln County Office of Emergency Services said they conducted several swift water rescues and rescues from flooded structures. Damage assessments are expected this morning.
We started the morning with a flash flood watch from the National Weather Service, and so we knew that there was probably something on the horizon.
Village of Ruidoso Public Information Officer Carrie Gladden speaking with KRQE.
I don't think it was a shock because I think we were prepared, but you certainly don't want to see it happen on this scale.
Yesterday's flood has been called worse than anything seen last year. Video shows flood water taking over the racetrack as well, overpowering the flood mitigation efforts that worked just 2 weeks ago. The Alamogordo City Commission had a meeting last night.
Item 9, consider and act upon an appeal by Lindmark for 2 billboard signs located at 821 U.S. Highway 70 West and 200 U.S. Highway 54.
Correction, that's 2200 U.S. Highway 54. This is an ongoing issue that saw the billboard company appeal a denial. The request to overturn was granted 7-0, so the billboards go up.
We're going to move on to item 10, consider and act upon resolution 2025-19, adopting an infrastructure capital improvement plan and identifying the top 5 recommended capital outlay projects for fiscal year 2027 through 2031.
That passed 7-0. You can see the meeting in full on the city YouTube channel. Todd Fuqua is the assistant director for El Rito Media, and he spoke this week about the Alamogordo City Commission's Bonito Lake improvement plans.
Bonito Lake, even though it's in Lincoln County, is actually owned by the city of Alamogordo. That's one of their reservoirs, in fact. And it was filled up and really ruined after the Little Bear fire a number of years ago. It was closed. They had to dredge it. They had to clear out a lot of the silt and muck that flowed down after the rains. And they had to close down the recreation area. There's camping and there's fishing in there, or there was. So they're talking about reopening it. That's going to be about $250,000 to do. So the fact that they're talking about reopening that area is big news, not just for Alamogordo, but also for Lincoln County and Ruidoso in this area.
You can hear the conversation in full on the KRWG website. The Tiburon Fire Department is going to begin burning the main slash pit today. Now, this is going to take several days to complete. Be advised the pit will be closed until further notice, and that smoke will be visible for multiple days. A protest is scheduled for Saturday in Alamogordo.
Otero County People for Democracy would like to remind everyone of our Saturday regular rally on the sidewalk surrounding the intersection of White Sands and 10th Street this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Otero County People for Democracy is nonpartisan and intends to be all-inclusive, with the only unifying factor being a commitment to representative democracy. We have a surfeit of unused signs to hold up, but a whimsical sign designed by yourself is especially welcome. So come out and bear the heat for as long as you can.
Jason Galbraith with that report. Well, today is Wednesday. It's time for This Week at the La Luz Ag Market.
Hey guys, Olivia of the La Luz Agricultural Market, back here again for another segment. I hope everyone had a fun and safe 4th of July. Last weekend at our market, We had fresh honey, baby ducks, chickens, and quail, handmade items like soap, various artwork, yummy jams, and sourdough bread. I got to talk to Liberty Roybal, the owner of All We Need, and get her thoughts on the Laluz agricultural market.
My name is Liberty Roybal. I'm the owner of the micro bakery All We Need. Everything we do is sourdough as well as organic. Our prices range from $10 to $13. We have made really good relationships with the ag market, actually. We have pretty much everything we need in one place. We can buy vegetables, we can buy a meal if we'd like, we can buy bread, jams, jellies, everything you can source locally, animals, chickens, eggs. It's become a very good place for us to get what we need for the week and to feed our family as well as provide for our family. So if you get a chance, you come on out.
Thank you so much for sharing, Liberty. We're happy to have you and your sourdough baked goods. If you haven't had a chance to come and check out the Laluz agricultural market yet, we are open every Saturday from 10:30 to 4 at the Leather and Lace General Store. It's best to try to get there early before the vendors sell out and leave. You will find us located right between the two big pistachio farms. That address is 7298 Highway 5470. Being a vendor is completely free, so if you would like more information on how to set up, please contact me, Olivia, at 575-442-1193. This weekend we will have more chickens, eggs, turkeys, goat milk, handmade items, and artwork. The Laluz agricultural market is a great place to bring the family to get fresh food and introduce your kids to agriculture. We are like a farmer's market, but even better. And Liberty said it best. You can find everything in one place. Follow the Laluz agricultural market on Facebook for all of the most up-to-date news and information. If you're not on Facebook, you can always call me, Olivia, at 575-442-1193.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Hi, it's me, here to tell you about AlamogordoTownNews.org. This is Otero County's #1 source for local news, sports, and community. Quite frankly, AlamogordoTownNews.org is the big LES news service online. AlamogordoTownNews.org is a Second Life Media affiliated company.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
What happens when the marriage of an innocent ingenue gets thwarted by the no-good Schnickel Fritz grub? Well, you can only imagine. The Cloudcroft Light Opera Company presents Those Wedding Bells Shall Not Ring Out. Witness the ceremony at the Cloudcroft Pavilion, 7:30 p.m., June 27 and 28, July 4th, 5th, 6th, 11th, and 12th. Free admission. Donations taken for youth scholarships. Those Wedding Bells Shall Not Ring Out, in cooperation with Pioneer Drama Company and Tim Kelly.
State police are investigating after a shooting resulted in a suspect being taken into custody in Carlsbad. One suspect was injured. The Carlsbad Police Department officer involved is okay. Law enforcement also said there is no threat to the public. Jurors acquitted 2 former Albuquerque firefighters who were accused of rape. The jury found them not guilty on all counts. Aiden Heyman was accused of raping a woman back in 2023, while Anthony Martin was accused of attempting to rape her. During closing arguments yesterday, prosecutors argued the alleged victim's testimony should convince jurors. Defense attorneys rebutted, stating that the victim lied and that the sex was consensual. The trial had been fraught. At one point, New Mexico Supreme Court stepped in to halt the trial while justices reviewed the defense's petition to drop charges and bring the case before the grand jury once again. While the state high court didn't do that, the attorneys filed a motion that led Judge Britt Baca dropping the most serious charge against Martin about a week later. A Donna Ana County deputy is dead following a crash with a semi on I-10. The department said Deputy Antonio Ailman was on duty when his vehicle collided with the semi around 5 p.m. yesterday. He was taken to the hospital, but efforts to save his life were unsuccessful. The 33-year-old had been with the sheriff's department since 2021. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. New Mexico Supreme Court says the State Environment Department is doing enough to safeguard liquid waste disposal. The Supreme Court heard from Tesuque residents yesterday who are bringing attention to the permits for liquid waste disposal. They say the NMED is failing to apply certain laws to the Santa Fe luxury resort Bishop's Lodge. Tasuka community leaders want the department to require permit renewal rather than giving blanket permits to ensure wastewater does not go unregulated. Meanwhile, Bishop Lodge says there's no problem with their liquid waste and that wastewater is so clean you could use it to irrigate food crops. The Lodge says they have a 9-step process to treat their liquid waste. The court sided with the business, saying the state is applying the proper amount of safeguards to the process of liquid waste disposal. A national education nonprofit is stepping up to support New Mexico students after federal cuts all but shut down a program dedicated to helping at-risk youth. Jobs for America's Graduates is quickly expanding its reach into the land of enchantment. Aimed at a pause on service for at-risk youth, Katie Parent and the New Mexico chapter of Jobs for America's Graduates are working to tackle the issue. She spoke with KRQE.
To be in a position where we can be both in schools and out of school, we are the only ones who can meet students where they're at, no matter if they're engaged in school or not.
JAG has been working inside classrooms for decades with graduation support and building life skills. Since the disruption with Job Corps, they've recently enrolled 100 new people into their program and launched a new program designed to help students who aren't in school today. JAG says its ultimate goal is to get students working, enrolled in further school, or enlisted in the military as future career options. Once on that path, JAG says the specialists will remain in touch. The JAG program received $700,000 in funding from the state this last legislative session, and they are still enrolling students who need help for free. Fire officials are reporting continued progress in the battle against 2 wildfires burning outside of Silver City in the Gila National Forest. The Trout Fire, which is about 12 miles north of Silver, is now 96% contained. It's burned a little over 47,000 acres since it began on June 12th. The newer Panther Fire is about 10 miles west of Lake Roberts. It's burned about 80 acres and is now 32% contained. It began on July 2nd. Both fires have been determined to be caused by lightning. A woman in her 20s suffered what's being called a non-life-threatening injury after she fell from the border wall late Monday night in Sunland Park. Sunland Park Fire and Border Patrol used a basket to carry her out. She was transported to the hospital via ambulance.
Every summer, it happens, again and again. A parent steps away for just a minute, but that minute can turn deadly. On a hot day, the temperature inside a parked car can soar by 20 degrees in just 10 minutes. Even with the windows cracked, the heat builds fast, becoming a deadly trap for a child. Children's bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than adults. Heat stroke can begin when a child's body reaches 104 degrees. At 107 degrees, it can be fatal. Last year alone, 24 children died in the U.S. from being left in hot cars, each one preventable. Never leave a child in a vehicle, not even for a minute. Look before you lock. This message is brought to you by the Alamogordo Fire Department and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Protect kids, prevent tragedy.
Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies with a 20% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts less than 1/10 of an inch expected. Mostly clear skies tonight, sunny tomorrow. Your high today in the basin, 96, low tonight of 72, high tomorrow, 100 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny skies today with a 30% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts between 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch expected. Partly cloudy skies tonight, sunny tomorrow with a 30% chance of showers and storms. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 75, low tonight of 56, high tomorrow, 77 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and you can learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. You can also check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. And that concludes this Wednesday edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.